to another episode of the Cageburg Sings. I am your host, Sherika Shea, and we got my king, Ollie, on the other line. And so tonight, we're just going to keep it a little simple. But I'm going to ask you a question, Ollie. Okay? Say hello to the people
Okay.
before we even get started.
How y'all doing? How everybody doing?
Yes,
Peace
yes,
and
yes.
blessings.
Always, always. And so I just wanted to know what can you give the young men that are out there right now struggling with trying to find out who they are, fitting in and trying to find themselves? What advice can you give to them? Encouragement.
Ooh, that's, that's good right there. I like that you asked that question.
Mhm.
I think it's a very important question, obviously. Uh, just, obviously, man, we come from a certain type of background. Uh, that background has to do with a lot of struggling, trying to find your identity. It's hard to know who you are in regards of being a young man, right?
Mhm.
You trying to find yourself in that way. For me, I seek a lot of acceptance, and generally, I think everybody do. So one thing I would say, you don't have to try to seek acceptance from nobody. You got to accept yourself, right, and understand that you're different for a reason
Mhm.
because God made you that way.
Mhm.
So you don't need to go outside of that. Just being who you are. That leads to a lot of things that could potentially get you in trouble trying to seek acceptance, right?
Right.
Uh, it's hard though. We live in a world. The world is fast. We got these phones, and you got kids
Instant.
that's 5 years old able to, they know how to use these phones. It's, the internet and just things that it provides you. So it moves fast. So
Yeah.
trying to adapt in that way, we got to understand that we got to slow ourselves down. Take the time to slow yourself down and start to truly understand who you are, right?
Mhm.
And it takes a lot of soul searching, right? Trying to figure out who you are so you won't get mixed up in the negativity, and it's very hard. It's not easy. Uh, some people don't have family. Some people don't have nobody to lean on. I would say anybody that's in your family that's positive, whether it's cousin, uncle, or whoever it may be, or somebody at your school, try to, have conversations, to understand different things and don't go outside of that. Like, trying to find it somewhere where it's not going to be beneficial for them.
Right.
Like we will do that. We'll go try to find things because for me, I always wanted to have a certain image. Not really understanding my image, but trying to live in an image that was negative,
Mm.
that didn't benefit me. And what that image did, it allowed me to mess up my life as well as other people's life, right? Uh, it's good to talk. Like, we don't like to talk, because we think, people are going to judge us in that way. But being able to express yourself and let people know what you're going through, it can be good for you. It
Mhm.
can keep you out of a lot of bad situations, if that makes sense. Like, you may see it like, man, I don't want to say nothing that sounds stupid. But talking to somebody that's older or may have a little bit more years in regards to just understanding, they may be able to give you something that's beneficial for you. So open it up and talk. A lot of times you like to hold things in.
Mm.
When you hold things in and then it builds up, it boils up, and next thing you know, you're in trouble.
Right. I wanted to ask you this now. When you said that image, what image were you trying to portray?
Well, I want everybody to see me as a tough guy.
Tough guy.
I didn't want to be seen as weak.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be presented as this dude that was just hard as steel. And the reality is that's not the truth. I wasn't put on this earth to be that God, you know. I'm currently still struggling with that.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to, that's what I was talking about. I'm trying to appease people that I don't need to appease because I'm trying to live in this image that's not me.
Right.
And I didn't understand that, obviously, because, you know, I was a kid. You know, I moved from here to there, didn't really have my mom and my dad in my life. You know, you understand that better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always searching for an identity.
Right.
And then once I found this certain identity, this tough guy identity, I tried to live in that. And what it did is it compelled me to mess up my life as well as other people's life.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I also would say this too, like on this note, what we do, it becomes a reflection, right?
Yes.
And when the reflection is shown to somebody else, they see the reflection and they run with it.
Mm.
And then they start to live in that reflection as well.
Right.
And now guess what happens? It becomes the ripple effect, and now they're doing the same thing, and they're destroying not only their life, they're destroying somebody else's life.
Absolutely.
And we don't have the authority over nobody's life. We don't. You know, only life we should be concerned about is being able to live it in is ours. So that's why it's important for us to, you know, ask for help, man. You know, in the black community, we don't like asking for help. You know, we feel like that's taboo to ask somebody for help.
Yes.
You know, there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Right. It's
You know?
important to ask for help. It's important to reach out. It's important for, especially if you find someone, like you were saying, an adult that you are comfortable around, that you know that doesn't judge, right? It's like for me, you know, I am someone, and my baby brother recognized this a long time ago. And he recognized that I am someone that you can come and talk to without any type of judgment, right? You can come and let me know what's going on with you. You can come. I have a play daughter that calls me all the time. She said, you're my therapist, but I can't pay you." And it's, you know, it's just, you have to, they have to have that soundboard, right? That soundboard, so that they can express their thoughts, right? So someone can know that they're not crazy. You know, you are human. You are experiencing emotions. These emotions are okay for you to experience. You don't have to hold on to them. And we have to learn how to, you know, it's about, you know, parents really need to, really need to wake up and understand that life that you chose to bring into this world, right? That you allowed to come through the portal, that we have to instill, and we have to be present with our children. We have to show them what boundaries look like. We have to do our best to show them and raise them in the love, right? In the ability to express themselves. Because if we don't hone in, but, oh God, I'm sorry, cousin. Because I know it goes back. It goes back so much farther. But I know, you know what?
It's deeper.
It's
deeper.
real deep.
Yeah.
But I know that there is a change happening in the world. It's a rapid change that's happening. You know, it's important that we show up for our children. And I applaud any of the, like, teachers and different programs and mentors. I applaud you. I salute you for stepping in and being that gap, right? When the parents aren't there, when the parents are zoned out or doing and focused on things that kind of don't matter, you know, I salute you. I salute you. But yeah,
I want to touch a little bit back to what the initial question was. We lack guidance in our community. The lack of guidance that's not there, particularly for these young men and young women. We speak about role models or certain type of influences in the community, and we lack those things, right? And understanding that, we have to understand that when you see somebody that's young, don't be afraid to be who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are, because you're different in your way, and you're unique, but you're special in that way as well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hide that from the world. You know, and that's, for me, I played sports at a high level. You know, I was real good, but I was so busy, caught up trying to hang out with the homies that I missed that opportunity.
Mm.
You know, like, you know, sometimes people say, man, maybe if I did this 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't be here, right? And a lot of that is true, because, you know, we don't take into account, but I didn't have no guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have no structure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I missed that. I was too afraid to be Ollie. So I wanted to be this fictional character that wasn't real.
Mm.
And this fictional character, you know, destroyed his life as well as other people's life. There's always room for redemption in that sense, right? Because once you become aware and you're conscious of the behavior, you can change it, right? You know, it's all about choices.
Mm-hmm.
But we're speaking to the youth, to a young man or a young woman who's struggling with the identity. They're having an identity crisis. You know, some kids might want to be Iron Man. You know, they're kids. They don't understand you can't be Iron Man in that sense.
Right.
Right? Some kids, you know, I remember at school that we asked the kids when I was young, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be like my dad.
Mm-hmm.
What was my dad? My dad was from Main Street Crip. He was a gang member. I didn't understand that. I just wanted to be like my dad. This is my dad.
That's deep.
You know, he's living in an image of not good fruit.
No.
What he's producing is bad fruit, but I don't understand that, because ain't nobody telling me or giving me the guidance, because everybody's applauding the bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to drive in Monte Carlos and have cul-de-sacs and, you know, bang like he banged.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a sign of respect in our community.
Mm.
But what does that lead to, right?
Right.
We don't understand that because nobody tells us that. So one of the biggest things is being able to guide these kids in the right way, but give them the good information. Ain't nobody on earth beyond perfect, right? Everybody, they fuck up 10 times a day.
Right.
So when you live in something, you eventually will become that.
Damn.
I don't want them to live in that image.
Right.
Because that's not you.
Right.
Education, going to school, learning, applying yourself every day, that's powerful. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't going to be able to rap or play basketball. It's just not the case.
Right.
So learning and educating yourself is it's cool to be who you are. Yourself. Be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you ain't got to be nothing outside of that. That's cool. It's cool being you.
That's cool.
Embrace it.
Yes.
Embrace it.
Mm-hmm.